what's going on, folks? So we're gonna try something a little bit different out today. Instead of me sending you guys a bunch of different screenshots, I'm gonna go ahead and do this little screen recording thing here. Quick overview of what's going on in the markets. What we saw today, what we can expect, and kind of what I'm looking at for tomorrow for a couple of different of our main stocks. All right, so let's go ahead and start off with futures right here. As you know, we had that massive sell-off today, which we had a nice double bottom down here at 2166. Had a nice buy divergence set up here, which actually ramped us up into this 2180 line, which was spoken about pre-market by Tim as going to be the first peg that we wanted to see get tested before we see an upside break. So we hit that very strong resistance, kind of back tested it 4 or 5 times right before close. We broke above it after hours right here, and then have kind of sold off. What I'm looking for is this potential of an inverted head and shoulders here that we got forming. If this actually does work out and play out as I expect, I'm looking for this continuous back test of 2178 to about 2176, 2175 range to back test and kind of build up a little bit of volume consolidation. From there, we're going to look for a ramp up test back to 2180. We're going to look for a test and a potential break with conviction in large volume. If we get that, I'm looking for a retrace back up to 2185. This number is kind of where we saw the initial sell-off happen on Tuesday, and then was the all-time high that we put in last week before we hitting that again on Monday. So from there, if we do back test this 2185, 2186 range, which would be about 219, give or take on SPY, that will actually set up this larger head and shoulder pattern that we were talking about today. So we're looking at a neckline here of, roughly 2165 to 2168, 3 points, give or take on ES. And I'm kind of looking for this back test of 2186, 2185 to happen tomorrow or Friday. And from there into next week, we are going to hopefully start to roll over and break some of these support lines down. And once we do break down below this 2166 range or so, we should start to see these, the 2150 start to show, and then eventually hopefully get this strong support test of 2152. If that breaks, then we should see 2141 show, and we're back in the 214s, and kind of go from there on SPY. Next, and probably the last one to look at tonight, trying to kind of tweak this whole thing, we can go ahead and take a look at one of the other larger traded ones that we're looking at is Netflix. All right, so I got some prior lines on Netflix here, not really helping us at all, from this pattern that has been showing. So I drew a couple here. We got pretty range bound here on Netflix now. From that gap up it had last week on that insider form, I think came out or something like that. So kind of what I'm looking at here, and I think you guys could probably see it too, potentially another inverted kind of setup here. It could have closed right here today at that 97 hit, but something to keep in mind. So what we're kind of looking here is very range bound on Netflix. We're looking at a pretty strong resistance or support here of 95.27, 95.25 range. Another support that I'm seeing kind of is the 95, 80 to 96 range is going to be a little bit of pain, as you can see today. We dipped below it, but we continued to retrace to it and test it, and then finally broke above. And then we're looking at pretty strong resistance, looking at this chart, of about 97, 96, 60, 97 range, a couple spikers above it. But so for Netflix, kind of just, trading the range accordingly, take your scalps. I think people are doing a really good job of, playing close to the money on this one, and getting in and getting out and taking the 30%. So that's what we're looking for tomorrow. Little test run here, but let me know what you guys think. Let me know what I got to tweak, what you guys want to see, and hopefully we can get doing this every night, giving you guys a quick market overview. All right, guys, take it easy.